Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, day by day, we are opening different angles, windows, path to become very clear regarding the meditation practice and develop our skills itself to gain a more better, clear understanding. Because once you have that clarity yourself, you can start your own journey. So always you have to remember, every day is not a day to practice. There is a day come for you to experience this, to live with it, be with it. But for a certain level, we have to build up our practice with clear understanding. So as you know, nowadays, everybody talk about this Ocean Gate incident. The people, 5 people went to see the Titanic. And when it comes to these people, they have a strong desire inside to go up or higher or go down or deeper. Everybody like this. But most of time, we spend this desire to deal with outside world. And practicing meditation is a method you go into deeper to yourself. And with this incident, that there are many scientists now talk about that Ocean Gate little submarine and saying it didn't have the necessary safety equipment and they didn't care about it. They just kind of like they develop a kind of like a very radical way of method. But still, when it comes to the human history, we have deeper connection with the ocean. Thousand years backward, people used to deal with this ocean. And today, with the science and technology, and people have so much wisdom, experience, knowledge, and tools, machines, technology. So rather than using that all and developing some kind of a structure, sometimes they just went their own way. So somehow how it is related to us. So we the same. This is our very nature. This is the very human nature. How it related to you. Why when it comes to meditation, why we bringing this example? Because we the same, we do the same thing when it comes to meditation. Just imagine. This is a method, this is a skill that you go deeper into you. So the 2600 years ago, the Buddha himself gave the very clear mechanism and the methods and the tools for this to how to practice and how to do it. So if you don't follow that, if you don't get that wisdom, if you don't use that knowledge, what can happen? You may go somewhere, but sometimes you can't reach to the very depth. So that doesn't mean, oh, you have to be biased to the Buddha. No, what the Buddha said, it is nothing to do with the Buddha's teaching. It is about, you have to more become very clear, understand the very nature of the mind. That is what the Buddha said. But most of the time what we does, when we become advanced with a certain kind of path, even in the material world, with the certain kind of subjects, we get blind out of it. We can't see other things. We get blocked. We get the gloomy, dusty mind. We can't see from where this comes, why it happened to us. Look, all the skillful people, millionaires, how they come to that kind of decision and how they come to that kind of situation. It's a very simple, and when ordinary people sometimes, when they do things, they always look what are the possibilities. So sometimes even in our life also, it can happen to us when we sometimes go into to practice only one thing. When we just get blind with one thing, sometimes everything we can't see. It can happen through many ways. Even it can happen to our spiritual life also. Sometimes when we get spiritually so bound to it, we get blind. So maybe your meditation practice, so maybe your chanting, your prayers, maybe your political party, maybe your culture, tradition. Sometimes whatever you believe, sometimes it can make you blind. So that is why the practicing and brush up and clean ourselves, our own mind is very necessary. Because without that clarity, the whatever we develop is not easy for us. So then, today we are going to look into some kind of details, how this blindness, how this dust come to us, how this gloomy mind develop in us, and how we can get out of it. The very epicenter of this all gloomy, dark, dusty mind is separation. We separate. That separation come out of the self and outside, me and you. I am and you. So self and others, that's the first separation happens. And once that separation happens, it will expand to inside to outside. That is the best dualistic mechanism we develop inside. But when it comes to our world, we have enough wisdom to understand, even though whatever we experience these material things, and maybe that we can see it as a wood, we can see it as a structure, it has a pattern, but still, when it comes to subatomic particles, there is an emptiness in this. So when it comes to from different angle, when we look this, from that scientific viewpoint, we see this as maybe very empty space. But from us, we see it as something. This creates separation. So when that separation starts with me, I am, self. But as you know, your feelings, your thoughts, your desires, that's empty. There's nothing, something that you can bring as an object when it comes to mind. But still, this everything depends on mind. Mind is the forerunner. Mind is the creator. So your body starts because of the mind. So the mind doesn't have a structure. So if the very source, the very fundamental foundation of the body, if it is the mind, and when the mind doesn't have a structure, just imagine, just think, out of that something in its energy, it doesn't have a structure. Out of that energy, how it can build a permanent structure. So when it comes to this, our body, this physical structure, we kind of like see, this is me. I look at this. I am here. But the thing is, it built up, it created by the mind. And then everything, whatever you experience, the very epicenter of this all is your mind. But when the mind doesn't have a structure, how then this everything come to a structure? So then for that you need names and forms. So without names and forms, there's nothing that you can experience. But that names and forms all arising in you. In which place? Because whatever arises with your eye consciousness, not going to arise with your ear consciousness. So we always separate. Because of that, we can't recognize this. Because there is a very little time we spend sometimes to be with something. Otherwise, most of time, we always deal with things related to subject and object. As example, just imagine. So, you know, when this sound comes to you, when this sound comes, So is it outside or inside? When you see this, is it outside or inside? When you see this, is it inside or outside? So there is no separation. If you separate this as outside, what you experience by inside and what you separate and how you come to the point to separate it. Because if I can't experience this from my inside, how I can separate this thinking this is outside? Because to recognize that, I have to recognize it from my inside. So like that, this separation, this dualistic mind, we build up from each and every angle. That is where people always with this outside world, outside, inside, and higher, lower, and people always have a desire to keep going to go towards that. But when it comes to the very moment of life, if you little bit settle down with the moment of experience, this everything there. So that doesn't mean we should not go into outside world and experience. No, of course you have to go. But how far you have to go? That's the thing. How long you have to go? How many times you have to go? And sometimes maybe the journey you go, there's no return. Is it worth them? Because in this human life, that what you experience in this very moment as life, all that millions dollars, look at this, all the millionaires that maybe we hope still maybe somewhere they under the ocean. But look, all the America, Canada, France, and everybody with this, all the high-tech machines and everything, and they try to find this little tiny, that submarine. And look at that, all that money, that all the millionaires, all that money, what it can do? Nothing. So then you have to remember, the moment that you experience in this very moment as life, it is so expensive. Because once it disappears, maybe there are places in this world, once you go, no one can find you. So once this disappears, no one can bring it back. Once we go on from here, it's not going to find a way to come back. Maybe the life will happen, but it is not going to be the same. So then the moment that you have, very expensive, very rare, it is a miracle. So in the very first level, start to appreciate you. That appreciation, once you have that appreciation, it always not going to take you kind of like a egocentric, self-centered person. That self-appreciation will open you to the world. When you start to appreciate yourself, you start to see the beauty of others. Because otherwise, if you hate yourself, if you become so greedy about yourself, you become blind. But appreciation is not like that. And once you appreciate yourself, you start to look how this life happens. And when this kind of things happen, look, they didn't talk about the food, they didn't talk about the other facilities. They all the medias and talk about one thing, that is oxygen. That's oxygen. That is the very fundamental foundation of our life. How long they can have oxygen, how many days, how many hours, everybody was talking about. Look at yourself then. Have you ever think about how you get this oxygen? From where it come to you? Don't care, you don't think about it even. No, because you don't appreciate that how this, because once you start to appreciate, you start to see how this happens. So that's how it develops in you to open to outside world. So then remember that the practicing meditation and learning Dharma is not just go with the book always. We keep the book and at the same time, we look at the world around and get the lesson out of it. And we then compare it to the Dharma and see what it say and what we can see. So in between both, we bring this inside and outside together rather than separating it. Oh, it happened somewhere outside. It's not going to happen to us. No. It's we all the same. This can happen to us also. It can happen to you somewhere. Maybe you get stuck under your bed. No one can help you someday, maybe one day. That can happen. Just imagine if there is an earthquake happen. We don't need to go to the under the, see, maybe just imagine earthquake happen. This everything collapse, this same house collapse. And then maybe, we get stuck. No one to help us. It can happen. But still, when you have this freedom around you, how you value it. When you have this life in this very moment, what you think about it. You get mad about it, worry about it, sad about it, always frustration, disappointment, unhappiness, comparison. Or are you a little bit appreciate because you are living? So bring that appreciation. Once you start to get the appreciation, once you know the beauty of life, what happens? It will help you to have the will to let go whatever already happens in you. So we try to let go things, but sometimes it is very difficult for us. Why? Because we don't see the very beauty of newness or the very beauty of life. So then the very first quality you gain, willingness to let go. Once you know the beauty of life. Whatever happened in the past, it's past. You have this moment, you appreciate it, you take it. When you are ready to take that, all the past things will detach from you. So, willingness to let go. And other quality that you gain, willingness to open for the very next moment. It makes you free. When you release from your own memory of the past, you become very open to the life. No boundaries, no barriers, no limitations. And that understanding brings you clarity. So willingness to let go will open willingness to open to newness. And that will take you to develop the willingness to accept. Because once you have the newness, once you open to new moment, you're ready to accept. It you strengthening little by little, little by little. So each and everyone, we are, according to our willingness to let go, capacity of being open going to change, difference. And according to the willingness to open, the capacity of acceptance change. So then, when you are open, how far? To the maximum. And you're ready to accept anything, whatever available in front of you. Knowing it's a part of you. Because if it is not a part of you, you can't see it. You can't hear it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. You can't feel it. You can't think it. When you can think, that's mean it is yours. Many 100,000 years old principle. Right? If you can think, it doesn't matter good or bad. If you can think about it, it is yours. Right? And accept and willingness to accept. And once you have that, there's another quality come to you, that is willingness to be. Very rare. Because sometimes we know things, we see things, we don't have the willingness to be with it. We always keep repeating something from our past. But this will help you to be with the newness. So then these 4 principles you develop little by little, little by little. When you start to learn how to appreciate the life. So what life means, what you experience, who you are, without separating. It's not, life is not only the body. Forget it. It's not the body. Look that, go back to the scene. Oxygen, so from where it comes? And the breathing, that's a very important thing. The food, important thing. And the environment, very important thing. So then who you are? Is this, are you this body? Only this body? You are this body, but you are not only the body. That is what you have to understand. You are not only the body. So your feelings, you are not only the feelings. Your thoughts, you are not only the thoughts. And once you understand that, you become so comfortable, relaxed, and you recognize you are more bigger than you think. Because when you think you are the body, you are only the body, your disappointment, sad, unhappiness, everything going to be with this. It's one day enough for you to to destroy everything. When you become very limited only for to think the feelings, I am feelings, you will get disappointed like this. Why? Because feeling change. When you think the thoughts, oh, I am the thoughts, or this I am thoughts, that's it. Like this, you will disappointed. Why? Because thoughts change always. So you are not the body. You are body, but not only the body. You are feelings, but not only the feelings. You are thoughts, not only the thoughts. You are more bigger than that. So don't worry about life. Don't worry about your next moment. You don't worry about your future. You are bigger than what you think. You are more bigger than who you are. Because that all the things that you developed yourself to make you limited came out of your capacity of thoughts. But what is happening around you, you have no idea. So that's why, in the very first level, appreciate this life. Of course, in life, we always experience this, things go up and down. But whatever, appreciate your life. Why? Because you are living. That's enough. Even this everything destroy, if you are living, that's enough. Why? Because even if you have this everything, if you are not living, what's the point? So that's why always have the appreciation. And once you have that, what will happen? Willingness to let go will arise in you. So then whatever happens, it's okay for you. Once you learn to appreciate the life, whatever happened to you, good and bad or anything, disappointment, mad, other people's meanness, that everything, it's okay for you. Why? Because now you know. And then it will take you to willingness to open. And it will take you to willingness to accept. And it will take you to willingness to be with life. So then, little by little, yourself, always remember to take the lesson and move forward. And this is not going to be every day. So you and me all, one day we have to end this all. And we don't know how this is going to end. And Buddha told about 5 things about the life. So one is, no one can tell when you're going to die. You and me both. When I say you here, you and me both, everybody. No one can tell when you're going to die. Another one is, no one can tell where you're going to die. Another one is, no one can tell how you're going to die. Another one, no one can tell what going to be in your last thought. No one can know. And no one knows where you're going to born again. But the sixth one, 100% sure, guarantees, can tell everybody going to die. That's simple. But while you're living, do your best and be your best. That's it. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left hand, neck hit straight in one line. And be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself. And say, Sopatveva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So bring your attention to in front of your nose and upper lip area. Simply observe and find out the sensation of inhalation, exhalation. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, and also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Tavata chammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numudantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numudantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numudantu sabba sampatti siddhya Maya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjisami Idamme Punya Kammang Asavakkaya Vahang Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamunchutu. Bless you.